Hi everyone, Paul from Fantastic Scale Modeler. Today I've got a review of the brand new TAKOM 135th Russian KRAZ-260 heavy truck. It's kit number 2016, it's brand new out. I got mine yesterday. As soon as I saw this thing I thought I've got to have that. It looks absolutely superb. TAKOM have got some really nice kits out there. There's a couple due out, the Ratty with a couple of Mouses and the Lukes, and I want them because they all look great. Bought this for a reason. A while back we started the vegan build, the step-by-step build. If you remember last year I finished off the 109 techniques guide on building aircraft. I did say I was going to do one on armour. I didn't do it for various reasons because I built the vegan. So when I saw this I thought, right, okay, let's see if we can build them side by side. One's a step-by-step, one's a technique guide, and we'll see if we can do it. Hence the review today. So that's that. Box art looks absolutely amazing. The camo scheme is great. There's 4 camo schemes in the box, well, 4 colour schemes should I say. Quite hard to pick which one I want to do. Hoping to do 1 or 2, we'll get to it in a bit, but a quick look around the box. Like I say, front of the box is a detailed static display plastic model. The chassis structure are reproduced exactly. All the wheels are movable. Front wheels can be steering. Bit of Chinglish there. All doors can be built open or closed position. Completed engine structure, 4 types of markings, PE and clear parts included. If you have a look at the side, on the side you've got 2 of the schemes. So basically the green schemes. On the other side, and I quite like this touch, you don't get this very often, there's your complete sprue layout with everything you get in the kit, the PE, the decals, instructions, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 sprues of bits. So not a massive part count in there, but enough to keep you entertained. On the side is the same box art as the front, as is the other side. So we'll crack on with it and we'll get going. So, inside, as you can see, I've been an eager beaver and I've gone through the instructions already. We'll get to those in a little bit. Like I say, I think I said 8 sprues. We've got the rubber tyres, which are great, and again we'll get to those in a little bit. Clear parts and a very nice sturdy box. Always need a nice box. What we'll do, we'll just dive straight in and we'll start with the parts. Again, as usual, I've looked at the parts, but not in depth. I was drooling over them last night, so we'll see what's what. First impressions, it's a beautiful, beautifully crisp kit. The moulding is absolutely superb. Highly recommended. They're very well detailed. There's no flash on there that I can see. It's very crisp. There's no flash anywhere, even on the sprues themselves. It's a tan plastic, quite an unusual colour, but this is the front of the cab. You've got the bonnet as well. Now I hope to leave the bonnet loose on this so I can open it kind of to show the engine off if we can. We'll have to see how it all fits together, but from the look of this it looks absolutely great. You've got the logo there, the KRAZ, the reverse 3, and as you can see all that detail is really crisp. Very nice. So not much to look at there. You've got wheel arches, the bonnet, the front of the cabin with the windscreen, and the front of the actual bonnet itself as well. So we'll just pop that to one side down there. Next up we have wheels and various other parts which I have absolutely no idea what they are. But let's dive in anyway. Again, super crisp parts. You've got least sprung suspension there, as you can see if we zoom right in. Very nice. Each of the wheels, the 2-piece wheels, all the way across to the 7 wheels. Various other components, and again, superbly crisply moulded. Real high quality. We go to that close-up cam, we can see it. Not an ounce of flash. Really crisp. Real nice. The sprue gates aren't too big, so you're not going to have huge parts to clean up, which is always nice. And just all around those parts are very nice. Nice wheel detail on the back, as we can see. So the parts you can actually see. And I'm assuming we've got various parts of the chassis on there, the suspension, etc. Very nice. So that's awesome. Right, now we'll move on to I'm just doing these in the order they came out of the box. So this looks like part of the cargo deck at the back. Nicely properly sealed sprue bags too, which are nice. And again, the rear deck, So I'm assuming the bottom of the deck will be wood, so these are planking. You can have a bit of detail on these if you wanted, using a razor saw, scratch it across, and the same on the sides as well to give a wood pattern effect on there, rather than it being completely smooth. But actually, tell a lie, if we can focus, there is actually a wood grain pattern on there, on the sides. That's a very, I don't know if we're going to be able to zoom in enough. Come on, get the white bounce back. There is a wood pattern on there. Maybe you can catch it or not. So that's a nice touch. Again, you can accentuate that more with, like I say, dragging a fine razor saw, drag the teeth across it to get some grooves in there. That'll improve it. But even the likes of these tiny, tiny little parts, which I'm assuming are hooks for something, these here about my thumb, superbly cast. They're going to be a bit of a pig to cut off and clean up. But there's no flash on there. There's a tiny little hint of it on that part just there. Tiny wisp. It's one of those pieces that you'll wipe off with your fingernail and it's gone. So again, top drawer there. I like the wood grain on the side panels of the cargo deck, the flatbed. Those little parts, very crisply made. So they're going to look very, very nice once they're all weathered up. If you can get a wood effect on there, but a chip in to show it's warm wood, it's going to look very, very nice. Top drawer. Next up, we have the roof of the cab, steering wheel. The dashboard, I'm assuming, and the headlight covers at the front, and the mirrors. So again, really nice, very crisp. There's a tiny little bit of flash on that steering wheel, but other than that, there's nothing on there at all. Really crisply made. You've even got a bit of interior detail on the roof of the cab. There's the dashboard itself, which again is very nice. Not sure what the decals are, whether they are for the instruments or what, but you can certainly spruce that up a bit with a bit of dry brushing, washes, etc. That's going to look really, really nice. You've got the option to use the doors open or closed. Whether they can be made to open and close, I don't know. I'll certainly look into it. But that's a very nice dashboard. How big the windows are at the side, I'm not sure. How much you'll be able to see once you look in. Again, I'm not sure, but hopefully you'll be able to see right in there and see the wonderful detail inside. Big, big screws. This is a big one, huge one, and this is going to give you an indication of the length of the vehicle. Now that chassis rail is 6 inches, shade under 10 inches, or in old money, new money rather, about 24 centimeters long. So it's a big vehicle. That's the size the chassis is going to be, and obviously it overhangs as well. So it's going to be a fair old size, and again, crisply made. We've got engine parts on there, transmission parts, suspension parts. There's a lot of parts on the cooling system. What looks like the spare wheel holder for the back, and again, really, really nicely made. Very nicely molded. There's a bit of detail there. I'm assuming it's going to be a radiator or something like it. But really crisply made. The engine looked rather detailed from what I've seen. And hopefully we can maybe scratch build a few bits in there to make it look a bit more interesting. Because like I say, I want to do it so I can have the bonnet open. But as far as casting goes, no problem at all. Another touch I like is these sprue numbers, well, letters rather, I did a lead there. Letters that they are cut out, so you can see that for a mile off what it is. Where, you know, if it's just printed on, you've got to physically pick it up and look. With that, you can see exactly what that is from a distance. That's going to save a fair bit of confusion. So again, another nice touch by TAKOM. This, I think, is the first ever TAKOM kit I've really looked at. Don't think I've had any others. Certainly impressed so far. Like I say, I want that rat and that Luke's, so they will be definitely on my wish list. As he's dropping everything, dropping screws behind me. Yeah, definitely. We're certainly looking at a few more of these because this is superbly made. Shows what modern day injection moulding can do. Now we've got more parts of the cab. So we've got the back of the cab, doors. The doors are huge, really big. The windows aren't too big, so you're going to see in there a bit. You're not going to see a huge amount of detail in the actual cab. But we've got inner door detail, the window winders. We've got the radiator grille, back of the cab, the floor of the cab, seats, the cushions, the window wipers. I mean, that's nice. You see the window wipers there, just here. Very nice. We've got a gear stick. Looks like a handbrake, a pedal. So real nice detail there, very nice attention to detail. This thing is going to look absolutely stunning when it's built. It's going to look absolutely fantastic. And like I say, hopefully I can find some stowage to add to the rear of it, barrels, etc. I'll certainly have a look around. I mean, generic 135, I don't know if German ones will do, or if anybody does a set, we'll have a look. But we'll add some stowage to the back to make it look a bit more interesting. But as far as the kit manufacturer itself, it is really, really top drawer. There's a tiniest hint of flash. I know I keep saying the flash, but it's the only thing I can criticise on the kit. It's a tiniest little wisp here and there, but it's nothing. You'll probably take it off just removing it from the sprue, just by catching it with your finger. But absolutely superb, very nice fine detail. I am rather impressed. Definitely, even more so looking forward to the other two kits I've got on order now. This is the last large sprue. They've got the clear parts. So we have exhaust, more suspension parts, more leaf sprung parts, transmission. I think this is all-wheel drive, so it's six-wheel drive. So you got both. Yeah, you got both differentials. You got the prop shafts. Lots of the parts, the exhaust parts themselves, which are here, very, very finely detailed, very, very nice, and again, just superbly made. Really is very nice. The radiator, cooling fan there, very crisply done. Cutting off is going to be fun. Take your time on that one, but again, top drawer. It really is nice. On the back of the sprue, I just noticed it's got TAKOM 2014-16, so whether they're planning ahead for something else there, I'm not sure. But I know you can get a different version of this that's towing a trailer, I think it's for tank transporting. So they've also made a different variant, and if this is that good and this builds well, I will be getting that tank transporter as well, and chucking a nice piece of heavy armour on the back of it. But top drawer, well and truly impressed by this. It is so well moulded, it is beyond belief. Rather impressed. There's no injection pin marks in any way it's going to cause a problem. There's a few plugs on the back that are going to need, well, they probably won't need cutting off, but I'll cut them off just for the sake of doing it. But again, top drawer, that is absolutely stunning. I am well and truly sold and impressed by that. Clear parts, this will be the teller of the kit. You may notice when I'm reviewing kits, I am looking for something to criticise, and if I can't find it, brilliant. But I do strive to try and find a problem, and the clear parts aren't going to be it, because they are crystal clear. Very well made. You've got a little bit of magnification, but you're going to get that regardless, just of the sheer nature of it. But the clarity, there's a bit of distortion when you get a bit of light on there. There's a tiny bit of distortion when you get a bit of light reflecting off it, but to physically look through, it's very, very clear. So you've got the front windscreen, the side glass, the rear glass, you've got the indicators, there's a light on the top, there's various marker indicators down the side of the vehicle. So again, nothing wrong there at all. And I really do like that, where the actual sprue number is cut out so you can see it. Yeah, clear parts are absolutely fantastic. So again, it'll look great. Depending on how weathered you want to do, you can add some dust effects to the glass to make it look a bit better, but to me, brilliant, absolutely superb. So well done, TAKOM. I could do the bag for that, but I don't know what I did with it. I think I just threw it in the bin, but we'll get in a bit. Tyres, now I wanted to open these, but I didn't. I saved them for you guys. Oh, if I'd known, I would have do anything closed. There's 7 altogether. You got 6 for the vehicle and 1 spare. If we have a look, you got a centre section to cut out, the tread itself, and I really can't see any visible seam there, so that's fantastic. They've got writing on them as well, which I don't read Russian, but they do have the size, and they're going to look absolutely great. Get a wash in those, nice UMP concrete or light dirt wash. Bit of mud, anything like that, they're going to look absolutely stunning on that kit. Absolutely brilliant. So again, top marks. So 7 of those, you got 6 for the vehicle and 1 spare. They're fairly rigid, but they are soft at the same time. So they're not too bad at all. They're probably some of the better rubber ties I've seen. And again, top drawers. I'd rather have that than 2-piece plastic or rock hard resin ones myself, if I'm honest, on a vehicle. Unless they've got the weight in them on the resin, then it can look a bit odd. An amendment, we'll get to that in a second. Shows it's a brand new kit because there's only an amendment in the kit, which 90% of the time you always get. Got the decals, we'll get to in a minute, the PE. Colour profiles, we have 4. MIG's got his name to these. Colour info and profiles supplied by MIG. There's 2 that catch my eye, and they're both on this one sheet, so we'll go through this one first. So we've got normal green, Russian green, which, you know, it's okay. It's going to make it look interesting with weathering. And then we've got a slightly darker one on the other side. Russian base, you know, forest green. So one's forest green and one's Russian green. Yeah, like I say, you can make it interesting with the weathering, but to me, it's one of these two. I quite like this one. It's a freehand camo pattern, quite interesting. But it's the box art one that really catches my eye. But it's hard edge. I'm not a fan of hard edge camo, so unless I sprayed it freehand, I will more than likely go for that one. But we'll see. I'll decide over time. Whichever one it is, because we can show you spraying the camo patterns then, as somebody asked a while back. PE. It's nice PE. It's not too thick. Who produces it, I don't know. I don't know if TAKOM got anything to do with Lion Raw at all. There's no marks on there. It's nice PE. It's not overly thick. It's beautifully made. The fret, like I say, isn't overly thick, and those parts are very nice. They can add a massive amount of detail to the kit itself, and they're going to cause no problem at all. Very, very nice. Some of the PE you get, especially in Tamiya kits, because it's a steel PE, it's really, really thick and can be a little bit overly, you need to be a bit over aggressive to work with it. Or the kit I'm about to build, which is a Gun Sanyo Panther. The kit's, the PE is like a big sheet of bloody plywood. It's going to be absolutely nightmare to do sort out. But the kit PE there from TAKOM is superb. Small decal sheet. Yeah, no problem. So there's 4 number plate variations for the 4 different ones. Couple of different 3 different markings, and there's your instruments for your dashboard, like we said. So we did say that. And again, the nice and thin, very nice and thin. There's no visible carrier film there. Very high quality, nice and matte. And I don't think that'll cause much trouble at all, to be honest. They should go down very nice. So again, not a massive amount of decals, so if you're not a fan of decals, again, ideal. Okay, on to the instructions. There's an amendment sheet, as I said in the beginning. Obviously, because the kit's brand new, they do release them and find out maybe something's been translated wrong or depicted wrong. So they will issue amendments in the instructions. If you buy a later kit, it'll be amended in the instructions and you won't get this. But there it is, step 15. So I need to remember that when I'm building, which is great. Instructions are great. I really do like the book. It's like an old paper back book. There's no information up front, so I'm not going to read it, but if you want to read it, if I hold it up for you, as per usual, just there. Basic information about the truck, about when it was brought into service in the early 80s, and saw action until 1999. It was succeeded, my god, by the KRAZ-260. So, first page instructions, there's a thanks to Mr. Certain Ernest Beck. You got your basic safety instructions, the paints required, applying the decals, removing the PE. So it's basic assembly instructions. You know, don't go jumping off your roof while sniffing the glue, or you know, bungee jumping. I've said that before, haven't I? Think of a different one. Don't go roller skating while you're applying the decals. There's that one. But yeah, it's just basic. So you know, don't be poking yourself in the eye with screws and. I don't know why I said screws because there's no screws in it. Just poking yourself in the eye with knives, etc. And the paints required, they're on the colour sheets supplied by MIG. So there we go, interesting safety instructions. Second page is the sprue layout, same as what you get on the box. So again, if you're missing parts, you can find it there. Step 1 instructions, they're very, very clear, very concise, very simple. They're not overcomplicated. What I hate is we get step 1 and there's 400 parts to put in there, and there's just parts everywhere. I find it absolutely mind-boggling when it's like that, because you lose track of parts. With this way, step 1's got 2, 3, 6 parts in it, 5 parts in it. and so on and so forth. So start off assembly of the engine, which looks fairly straightforward. And like I say, hopefully we can scratch build a little bit of the engine to make it a bit different, maybe add some cables, leads and whatnot in there. Moving on to the turbo, cooling system, the intakes, the exhaust, onto the chassis. So, you know, you're going to spend a little bit of time on each stage. The engine's going to take a little bit of work to get it where I want it, and then we'll move on to the chassis and so on. So you'll deal with it in different subsections, hopefully. That's the way I deal with it anyway. Onto the differentials, a least rung suspension. So again, nice, clear, concise instructions. Very, very nice. Just general assembly of that chassis right the way through. I believe there's a winch on the chassis, which we shall see in a minute, I think. Again, supposedly all the wheels are freewheeling, so it's telling you how to do it here, so don't glue this into there, just so you can leave the wheels freewheeling. You want to play with it and brum it around your carpet maybe. I won't be doing that. No, I'll be doing it here on the workbench. Onto the spare wheel holder, which sits on the back of the chassis. Like we're guessing fuel tank, etc. So again, all the way through, it's just so easy to follow instructions. All the parts are labelled clearly. There's no colour call out in there that I can see at all. So you're going to have to use your reference material and a bit of research there to figure it out, because it doesn't tell you. Your basic for your chassis and what have you, and obviously the colour for the sides and that, but there is no, like, every part should be this colour. So it's generally go on the one colour, do your research, and if it's a different colour, obviously colour it that colour as well. Framework of the rear cargo deck, again, simple as simple can be. It really is very, very easy to follow. Like I say, I want to leave the engine so we can open it, and I'm going to look at the doors to see what we can do there. You know, it's just one of them. I quite like to be able to open one, but whether I can make it workable, I do not know. But it's something I'll have a look at, because it's a shame to button it up, but I don't think it looks weird with the door left open. So certainly something we'll look at. We've got the upholstery in there. I'm going to assume that they're going to be pretty barren inside the interior of the cab. There's not going to be much in there. I doubt there'll be any carpets. It'll literally be able to be hosed down more than likely. You know, Russian military equipment, or any military equipment really. This is the step I'm interested on. This is the cab assembled. There's the bonnet going on. So again, we want to leave that loose, so we can lift it. And again, if I can make it workable, I will. I don't think I'll be able to on that. I don't think there'll be the room. But you can see it step by step. So easy to follow. So easy to use. They're really clear and concise instructions. They're not going to cause you any bother at all. Onto the road wheels. Put on the front of the bonnet and what have you, onto the cab. And again, you can see the bonnet sits in situ, so hopefully that'll be quite a nice friction fit, so we don't need to glue it. And there we go, back page all assembled. Like I say, I'm hoping to add a bit of stowage in the back. I did consider scratch building the cover for it, the rear cover for the deck and the framework, but it might be a bit too much, to be honest. So we'll probably just fill the back with a load of stuff and see what we can get to look like. So there we go, nice, simple, concise instructions. Very clear. You got a side profile and a front profile on the back and the front as well. And again, 2015, 2016. Don't know what the 2016's about there. I'm not sure. We'll find out at a later date probably. But great instructions. Some of the best instructions I've ever seen, to be honest. Very, very clear. Very well drawn. All the diagrams are spot on. Very, very nice. Like I say, you get the colour profiles, which again are a nice touch. Black and white profiles are useless. And obviously the your decal locations as well, but it's going to be one of those two for me. I'm drawn to that one more, but I don't know. For me, highly recommended. Absolutely superb looking kit. You've got excellent, you know, moulded plastic. It's brilliant. The detail is great. You got nice decals. You got great PE. Fantastic instructions. Those colour call outs. I can't fault the kit in any way at all. I really can't. It looks absolutely stunning, and I am itching to start this thing now. So hopefully not long after this, don't quote me though, they'll be messaging me when's it coming out. I'll get a first part of this out and we'll deal with looking at instructions, basic assembly, gluing, etc. and we'll get going on the build. So there you go, highly recommended by me. You need to go buy one of these because it's a stunning kit of an excellent subject. I will be seriously considering the other one now, the transporter on the back, because I think this thing looks great. Itching to get at it, so hopefully you'll see it soon. And there you go. So thanks for watching, guys. Pull at ISM. I'll catch you guys on the forums on Facebook probably, and I'll see you around.